Good morning. Welcome to Joe at 40. I'm Joe. Still 40. Still rocking it. Anyway, so, man, I didn't want to get sucked in. I did not want to get sucked in. But I got sucked in last night to the damn debates. I tell you what, I cannot, for the life of me, just understand how we got to this point. It is unbelievable that we have put Donald Trump up on that pedestal, that we have inflated that man's ego even larger than we thought possible. This is a man who, in a presidential debate, said that him he invaded taxes. Him evading taxes, not paying his taxes, makes him smart. Think about that for a second. This is a guy who wants to be our president. What is the president? The president is a figurehead. The president is a representation of our country, of our people. That's all he really is. I mean, there's power, yes, but for the most part, there is a balance of power to ensure that somebody doesn't go crazy with that power, which I'm sure he'll just be doing executive orders all day long if he ever got elected. But this is the guy who's supposed to represent our nation, telling us that not paying your taxes makes you smart. Really, honestly, let that sink in. If everyone were to stop paying their taxes, our country would just stop. If everyone were to pretend to be smart, like Donald Trump, and evade paying taxes, there'd be no military or police force to arrest the people that aren't paying their taxes, because they wouldn't be paying their taxes and there'd be no money to pay their salaries, so they wouldn't show up to work that day. I don't know. It's the craziest thing ever. I don't need to get into it too much. The only thing I can say is I can see a tiny little smidgen of where Donald Trump's whole campaign and the people who support him are coming from in the repeated statements that, hey, you know, the way we've been running our country for however many years, and him specifically going after Hillary for being in politics for 26 years, but he kept saying 30 because he cannot possibly say anything fully truthfully. He has to have an embellishment in everything he says. It's pretty amazing. But he his point is, we've been doing it this way and it's not working. And I could see where people would glom onto that and think, hey, yeah, that's right. Things aren't working. But here's the problem. They are working. They just work slowly. When you're dealing with a superpower such as the United States and you've got this large population of people, there's nothing that's done instantly. It's kind of like meditation. You don't meditate once and become enlightened. In fact, most people never become enlightened, but they're on a path to enlightenment. And that's what's important, is to put yourself on the path to getting better. The path to being at one with the world, right? That's the idea of mindfulness, meditation, Buddhism, whatever you want to label it. Being mindful has no real destination other than the effort that you put into it. And running a country shouldn't be a win or lose, like, oh, we're not done until every other country is bowing before us type of thing, which is how Donald Trump thinks and how people who support him thinks. Like, they're thinking this is sales, that, like, you have to win. There's nothing to win. We're humanity. We're all one planet. We have these invisible lines of separation between us that we've created. Anything that divides us is just innately wrong. So I think he completely doesn't get the difference between running a business and running a country. A country is not a for-profit business. A country is simply a community of people doing what's best for each other to survive during our very short time on this wet spinning marble we call home. That's all. It's not about winning. It's about loving each other. And he misses the point. And I really wish that someone, and Bernie would have done this beautifully. Unfortunately, Hillary doesn't get that hippy dippy about this stuff. But if you were to contrast it in that way and just say, running the United States as the president is not the same as running a real estate company. It's not. We're not trying to make a buck at any expense, including screwing over the American people by not paying your fair share. Remember what I said the other day about people not playing well in society, and society doesn't function? We have people who think they can step outside of the rules we set forth. There you go. Donald Trump can't exist in that world because he's always trying to screw one over on everybody. He always wants to get the upper hand. He wants to, he thinks it makes him smart to find loopholes and game the system. That doesn't make you smart. That makes you an asshole. That's it. If you're taking advantage of the system just because you can, to make an extra penny, to squeeze a little bit more out of the people around you, you're not doing so out of love for humanity. You're doing so out of greed. And you shouldn't be leading our country. He's not a fit man to lead any kind of government office. He couldn't even sit on a local city council properly. He wouldn't have the gumption to do that. So, I dove right in. Here we are almost 8 minutes in, and I'm talking politics. The funniest thing happened, though. We were watching the debates, and I was sitting on the couch with my daughter, and I look over, and she's giggling. She's holding up her phone to the TV, and I said, "Are you Snapchatting the debates?" She shows me her phone, and of course she's got the filters going on, and it was like teeth coming out of Hillary Clinton's eyes. And so then of course I pull out my phone and start doing it, and then my wife comes over and she starts doing it, and we completely lost it. We were in tears laughing at just the pictures and videos we were making on Snapchat of just these two pretty much comical entities that are on the split screen debate coverage from CNN, and it was perfect for it was just perfect for a Snapchat filter. It was hysterical. So that's that. I wish we could just do it. If someone could hack the live feed and start putting those filters on and voice changers on in real life, so everybody was watching it, because it really did make it really did make light of the whole scary situation that we're in. So anyway, I'm gonna check back in with you later, and I promise no more political talk today. None. Nada. Maybe a little. Good evening. How are you doing? I've had a long work day. I only went on a few service calls, but the last one was a doozy. And one of my more famous clients, yeah, we get those in South Carolina, in Charleston. Famous clients. Not as famous as the clients I used to have when I worked for MTV, but I don't know, pretty damn famous. I'll give you a hint. He wrote a book about his life that became a very, very big movie starring two A-list stars. One of them used to be a TV personality who dressed up like a woman. And the other one was a movie star when he was young, opposite one of my favorite movie stars, Kate Winslet. Let's see. That movie that story was also turned into a Tony Award winning play. And this person was also most recently in one of those IBM Watson commercials. Figure it out yet? Do you know who it is? Nah, you don't know who it is, do you? Maybe. I'll tell you the story of how I met this guy. So, years ago, I get a phone call from a guy. He's got a virus on his computer, and he's in town visiting, and he is staying at a hotel downtown Charleston. So immediately I'm like, well, that's sketchy, but sounded like a nice guy on the phone, no big deal. Gives me his name, his contact info. I go to the hotel, beautiful, beautiful suite. And I think it was Charleston Place was the hotel at the time. So I show up and I'm like, all right, well, this is not too creepy. But his wife was there, he was there. I'm like, okay, nice to meet you. Fixed his computer, no questions asked, got paid, left. 2 weeks later, I get a book in the mail, an autographed book. Thanks for your hard work. If I'm ever in town again, I'll give you a call if I have any computer problems. That book was called Catch Me If You Can. And the man is Frank Abagnale. Famous criminal turned good guy. So that was an interesting thing. And then he ended up moving to Charleston, buying a house. And I've been helping him out with his computers ever since. And, his family has a business down here now, and it's very interesting, and I've helped out his family's business, and it's been a great relationship for quite a long time now. Anyway, so that's where I was. They just got a new computer earlier in the summer, and a hard drive died on it. And that tends to happen. If a hard drive's going to die, usually from a manufacturing defect, it'll happen quickly. And that's what happened. Luckily, they had everything backed up, so we just had to get it all put together. Tonight is even more interesting for me. Well, I shouldn't say even more. That's not nice. Not that it's even more. It's just interesting to me. Even more than last night. How about that? It's more interesting than watching debates. Tonight is the Violent Femmes. Hell yeah, dude. I've never seen the Violent Femmes live. Of course, I'm probably about 20 to 30 years too late to go see them live. But better late than never. And I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. And some friends are coming, and I'm taking my daughter Mackenzie with me. So we're going to have a good time singing Add It Up. Add it up. Oh, you didn't expect that, did you? I'm going to head to the concert. I love calling it a concert. See, I call everything a show, but when it's a band that's kind of established at a nice place like the Charleston Music Hall, it's a concert. It's no longer a show. Show, I feel like you're going to see a show when you go see some bands that are, sleeping on someone's floor and they're playing a local punk rock club or a bar or something like that. That's a show. Concert is like, all right, I had to pay some money, have actual tickets. That's a concert. I'm going to a concert tonight to see the Violent Femmes. And you are invited with me. I'm not going to, record the show or anything stupid like that, but I'll share my experience with you by talking profusely to a camera.